How many of you have woken up from a sound sleep and didn't know where you were or even what day of the week it was? Can I see a raise of hands, a show of hands? Awesome. So I'm not alone in this experience. I woke up from a sound sleep. And you know how I knew I was sleeping soundly? I had to wipe the drool off my face. So, you know that moment in time where your eyes haven't completely adjusted to the light around you, and then you do realize where you're at? Well, one day I woke up in a dark and empty train that was parked in a dark and empty part of Chicago's Union Station. I was so scared. I was concerned about my belongings and my person. Thankfully, both were intact. But I felt a sense of shame and dread when I thought about the what ifs. What if, when I was driving home from my internship back to my home in Chicago, what if I'd fallen asleep? Would I be here now speaking to all of you? Would I be living with regret and grief because my negligence cost the life of other people? When I felt that initial feeling of shame, I wanted to blame somebody else. I wanted to blame the train conductor. Isn't it their job to make sure everyone's off the train? It wasn't until that situation that I had exposed myself to risk and to danger that I realized I needed to look at my decisions more closely, and I had to give myself rest that I needed so that no mistakes like that, no tragic event would happen. And that's where I'm so glad to be in front of you to share this message with you so you might learn from my mistakes. As I researched information for my signature speech, I came across two statistics that blew my mind and is the impetus for my speaking and my events. First statistic is, did you know that as women living in the United States, our life expectancy is in our 70s? Now, that's a sobering thought when you're my age, in my 60s. But the other statistic was even more alarming. Many of us are dying from the ages of 44 to 63. That's, my friends, that's our friends, our loved ones. And the statistics are high in this age group due to heart disease and diabetes. Research is plentiful that these are two illnesses that arise from chronic stress. This is why it is my mission to have you take a day away to sit down and think about you. One of the first things that you can do is take time away and think about what you truly want for your life, for the important events in your life. So you are present for that and can enter into joy and find things to be grateful for. And when you're going through not so happy times, what are the silver linings? For that truly buoys us up and helps us move along in joy. To think about you and put together your intentions for the year, however long that you'd like, and come up with a 90-day roadmap to jumpstart that experience. Similar to you, I am well educated. I have have training behind me. I'm a lifelong learner. I go for whatever certificate is available. I have a certificate in family therapy, marriage and family therapy. And that's just one example of ways I like to level up my skills. At the same time, I have learned the hard way that you need to put the important things first and foremost when you're balancing and juggling multiple roles. I would love to shorten the lessons for you and share what I know so that you don't have to go through the hard knocks, that you don't have to be taught a lesson through illness, through a health scare. What I bring to the table is an integration of not only knowledge about brain and body connection and emotion connection, at, but proven strategies to be more productive. It's time to put the work in to take care of you so that, remember the statistic, so that you're not someone that's in that 44 to 63 years that is struggling to survive because of a chronic illness. Let that not be you. So many of us are busy nurturing others, taking care of other people, putting our needs on the back burner for others. And maybe the carrot in front of us is that moment when we can retire and enjoy ourselves. Let this moment be your wake up call. I want this message to be not just to you, but for women internationally to understand that your wake up call doesn't have to be an illness, doesn't have to be a fracture in your relationships with the people you hold the most dear. Let not your wake up call be a tragedy. Learn from me, learn from my mistake and my situation, and make the most of your life as it is now. Do something different. Take a step for the betterment of yourself, whether it be rest, whether it be out with friends, whether it be meditation. Learn meditation so that you can de stress and move from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. One of the ways in which we move from stress to chronic stress is by not relaxing, not taking time away and adding one stressful activity and life event and day on top of the other until we've pushed ourselves beyond our limit and our body is constantly in the stress flight mode. Our system are twofold. We have a sympathetic system that is reacting to stress. That's everything in our body is coming together so that we can either fight or we can flee in flight. That's just how we're wired. Even though we might be seated at our desks and not involved in anything that's life threatening, our body thinks that we are. And it creates the stress hormone within us that can lead to chronic stress and can lead to disease. So we have to learn how to bring our system into the parasympathetic where relaxation happens. And there are many avenues with which you can do that. An important step you can do for yourself is to protect your sleep. Get 7 hours or more of sleep a night. Because if you don't, this is what happens. Think of your brain and sleep as the washing machine of your brain. If you're not sleeping, your brain's not being cleansed. Extra protein goes into your brain, and that is what causes brain disease. Having too much plaque in your brain, that's the cornerstone of Alzheimer's and dementia. So when you sleep, you're allowing your brain to be cleansed to start afresh and it can function the way it was designed to function. So many of us think of self care as getting our nails done, putting lash extensions on, getting your hair done. Those are so important and they make us feel so good. But essentially, is making sure you go and see a doctor and that you're taking care of your health. I'd love for you to leave today with choosing one thing that you would do for you, because let's face it, you're the most important tool to use in your life's purpose.